So more practice with the algebraic solving. When it says that triangle ADC is congruent to CBA, so that means we know they're congruent. In this case, we're going to solve for X, and then we need to solve for B and D. So this is what I was talking about, where you solve for X, and then you have to plug back in. So this is a multiple choice question. You could probably bank on the answer for X being there, but that is not the final question. So the final question is, what is in measure of angle B and measure of angle D equal to? So I'm going to make myself a note. Measure of angle B equals measure of angle D equals. And that would mean we are done with our question when we can do that. As I mentioned, these are two triangles. They share this side, so we know that this side is congruent. It's not algebraically that important at the moment, but that does mean that we have angle, angle, side. So angle, angle, side, or whatever way you want to think about it, but just a reminder to mark those sides because in this case, it is already named congruent. So you don't have to worry about our theorems and our postulates as much anymore. We just know they are congruent. So if they are congruent triangles and it is D matches up with B, then that means I can set these two equal to each other because I know that they match because of the way they listed the triangle congruency statement. And in this case, in this point, we want to get our x's to one side and then our whole numbers to one side. I like to move towards positive numbers, so towards the bigger side, but you can do either way. It'll all come out in the wash as long as you're paying attention to your positives and negatives. So I'm going to subtract x from both sides. So it gives me x plus 7 equals 20. I'm going to subtract 7 from both sides to get x by itself. And x equals 13. Now, this is where I said go back. Am I answering the question at this point? No. I have now got the goodies to plug in to be able to answer the question. So angle D was 2 times x, which is 13, plus 7. So that's going to be 26 plus 7 should give me 33. So angle D is 33 degrees. Then angle B is 13 plus 20, which is also 33 degrees, which we should have already known. So it should only be one answer because these triangles are congruent. So since the triangles are congruent and the angles match up, side lengths should all be the same. And angle 1 and angle 2 should also be congruent because it says A and C, where they butt up to each other, just for more knowledge. So 33 degrees for angle B as well. I would suggest checking them in this manner and not just assuming because we know they're congruent, because if you made an algebraic error, it's sort of like checking it for you. All right, so here's the ones where I was telling you that they will not always give you the drawn triangles. So you have to draw them. I just inserted these triangles already. It doesn't matter what they look like. It doesn't even matter if they match. Your quality of artwork is minimal of importance. Your quality of labeling correctly is very important. So start wherever you want. Doesn't matter which corner you start, but it has to go in order. B, A, T. So B, then A, then T. And wherever you started in your first triangle, you have to also choose to start in the next one in the same order. So start with D, O, G. If you are hard at making decisions, I would always start to the left, bottom, and then work my way around, just so you have a given rule. And then fill in the information you know. So B is 14 degrees. G is 29 degrees. Measure of angle O is 10x plus 7. So I need to find x and the measure of angle O. So that means I have two answers for this question to actually answer the question completely. So I'm going to make a note to myself. Now, again, if we know these are congruent, then I know that angle D is also 14, whereas T is also 29, and A is also 10x plus 7. At this point, since you are not comparing between the two, because A is the same thing as O, then you don't want to necessarily pay attention to one of the other triangles. So sort of get rid of it mentally. At this point, you know that all three angles are going to equal 360. Remember, because triangle angles are equal to 180. I just said 360. I'm so sorry. It's a circle. So all three angles in the triangle are going to add up to give me 180. So to solve this, we're going to take angle 1 plus angle 2 that are given, plus the one we need to solve for, and know that all three angles are going to give us 180 degrees. The sum of all three triangle angles are equal to 180 degrees. At this point, you are just going to simplify. If I were you, I would pause the video and try this myself. Because if you don't mess up now, you will definitely mess up when it matters. And right now it doesn't. So try. So I like to clean up this side with like terms first. So 14 plus 7 plus 29. So 14 plus 29 plus 7 is going to give me 50. So I have 50 plus 10x equals 180. We need that 10x by itself, so I'm going to subtract 50 from both sides. And that gives me 10x equals 130. We're not done. We're going to divide by 10. So x equals 13. Now, this is where you go back and see if you've answered your question or if you have more work to do. So because it says x equals 13, we know that we're going to go up here. X does equal 13. So we did the first part, but there's an and. So we have to go back and plug in 10 times 13 plus 7. So 10 times 13 plus 7 should give me 137. We can write here, and you can check that by doing 137 plus 14 plus 29, and it should hopefully give you 180 if you did it right. So 7, that should be 11, 20, so we're going to add 2, 6, 7, 8, 9. Uh-oh, something's not right. Nope, I can't add. So it is 180. We did it right. Perfect. All right, guys, hope you got those down. If you have questions, just holler.